we know more about Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation than we do about his actual quote unquote job. And that's not just like me, I know more about that. Like that's like in general, the knowledge is much more like much more opaque about his like financial dealings. We don't know anything about that. And or we know very little. But I mean, it seems pretty obvious that, like, you have these like powerful connected people in one place. And you have them give them access to these young girls in rooms that you control, that are in your house, that are connected to your security system. I mean, you would be a fool not you'd be a fool to delete those tapes.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet those tapes were not able to be seized. They were found, unable to be retrieved completely. And Jeffrey Epstein, quote unquote, killed himself.
Yeah, I mean,
incredibly suspicious circumstances that. I mean, I don't believe he killed himself. Obviously,
Brazil clears South Africa with the flag. No shot, dude.
Did.
I mean, it's like the thing. So the thing about the tapes too is that there's something that came up actually during Ghislaine's trial, although not, I don't believe about the tapes, is about chain of custody, and this often comes up with evidence, right? Like, is this piece of evidence accounted for on every step of the way until it gets to the courtroom? And we can say completely with no conspiracy
get in
or whatever,
for SAP, everyone.
that is
SAP
not
enjoys.
the case for any of the Epstein like digital archives that he had, any of the
LTT flag objectively goes the hardest, but the LTT have done really fucked up shit. Nah, South African flag over everything else. Sorry,
was not
no flag better than South African flag. Sorry,
just not that they were out of the law enforcement chain of custody.
How do you feel about the Chicago flag, bro? Why the fuck does a city have a flag? That's what I want to ask.
That ball was dropped. And because there was a lot of balls that were dropped during the Epstein.
He's just really lucky, you know. Even after he died, he's just always been so.
Hey.
He's just always lucked out. That's why.
Bro, I don't give a fuck about city flags or state flags. Okay.
Yeah.
Who became the labor secretary afterwards? You know, under the
every
Trump
city has a flag, bro. What's the
when
flag
he was
of Cape Town?
Prosecutor. Another thing that like, I feel like there's so many of these things that are just like in broad daylight. Things that people have discussed about the Jeffrey Epstein case, especially when it was like popping to talk about, you know, when it was like definitely very relevant and on top of mind for a lot of people.
I've never fucking seen this ever.
And we just never talk about it ever again. Like, what the fuck?
I have never
why
seen
did
this.
nobody
I've never
ever
seen it anywhere at any
inquire
institution
into Alex Acosta's dealings? Like, and why he gave a sweetheart bargain? What did he mean when he said, "Well, what was it in a closed door meeting?" I believe he.
Oh, it's got a civic flag based on new logo. The corporate identity payoff. What the fuck? Bro, it's not even included on the fucking website.
Yeah. And you know, it's really interesting because like at some point you just run into like there's so many people.
Oh, that was the one
just like a vested interest
2003.
in like really like tamping this down. Whether those people were really like deeply involved with Epstein,
they only use the logo now though.
Interest in people that were involved. You know, this is
it's
bad.
Yeah.
It's bad for a lot of people.
They don't actually use the logo.
Unfortunately, it's basically only bad for like these people.
Like I've never seen this. They just use the logo
bad for like a lot of random people.
Yeah, I know. It's
and
really
so,
shit. But I mean,
there is so many people with so much power and so much vested interest.
Just the square, the circle thing is pretty cool. That's all I see. I've never seen anything else.
It's like,
but this is technically the flag, which is really shit.
The ability
but also, like cities having flags is so mid.
Squash all this stuff and to like get away from
it.
But
it's actually they just use that little emblem there.
But in some other countries,
they don't actually have this flag
like
hoisted anywhere.
At the top of our political ladder are guilty. Basically, or like not guilty, but associated. We don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they're not guilty, but we are suspected of being guilty of doing some funky shit with Epstein. And there should be like congressional hearings, but instead it's like basically just a meme or whatever.
It, like
if it ever gets mentioned at the political level, it's some guy like Dan Crenshaw being like whatever, or like or who's that fucking guy with the
who's getting him for SAP? Benji, you wanted SAP? Come back.
Mike Cernovich or something being like Epstein stuff. Like,
oh,
it's like
get in.
it's just like
Benji,
that's
you
the
want
level
sap,
it's
you're not in,
to.
dude.
And it sucks, but like nobody has really any interest. Like if you
That's
want
why
to make
Liz
it the
was- that's why
Democratic
Liz
Party,
was
you're not
correct.
talking about this shit.
That's why Liz was absolutely on the money when she said we need like crank. We need like crank
Motherfucker just
politicians,
leaves, dude.
like
Hi, Sexy
the
Panda
Mike
Bear.
Gravells
How you doing?
of the world that were like
I'll wait for you,
crank,
don't
but
worry.
in an honest way. But then they would like actually launch investigations and not crank in the Marjorie Taylor Greene type of way. That that don't. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is just an opportunist. Like it's obvious, right? And also a sex demon. She's just trying to get a nut off, which to me, I think
that thing is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, good.
And she should. You know,
Sexy.
it's just good on her. I think we need more ladies doing stuff like that in Congress. It shouldn't just be men. So, you know, other than that though, we don't really have any like honest like left libertarian types or whatever that are in government that are going to launch these sorts of inquiries.
We have dishonest cranks.
Yeah, we need the real cranks back.
Real cranks.
Yeah. So, okay. So we got all this. You don't personally think that the Jeffrey Epstein
Get in for sap. I'm literally gonna start in like
maybe dates will
2 minutes
prove to be all that illuminating. I guess like
someone's gonna finish this section, so I need to go back to editing.
Like plug some of the holes in these stories.
Yeah.
But the real juicy details that people are expecting to come out of this is not going to be, like there is no, most likely there is not going to be like Bill Clinton was here with this associate at this date.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I would fucking love that. That would be amazing. I'm just speaking from like the way stuff has come out so far. We did get a lot of really interesting stuff from the JP Morgan and like the Virgin Island lawsuits. And really what was interesting is it turns out that Jeffrey Epstein basically controlled the entire Virgin Islands political apparatus, including I think it's technically the prime minister of the Virgin Islands, who fired the attorney general who sued these companies in the first place. I hope, just like we get occasionally stuff that will like really pull back the curtain a little bit, or like sometimes like, a medium little bit. But so far there hasn't ever been like a really smoking gun where it's like it all comes out. And so I'm just not expecting that. If that did happen, I would fucking love that.
I just want more on Alan Dershowitz, anything that fucking.
Oh God.
I mean, I don't think it's going to stop him, really.
All right, I'm going to start now. We've got Benji in here. Are we waiting for anybody else? We've got Frog Eyes. Anyone else are we waiting for?
Is on the rise in people are being groomed in middle school or whatever by gay teachers while simultaneously having Alan Dershowitz on every night. But
because this is probably the only round we're doing.
All teachers are fucking gay, dude. It's it's I would love more Dershowitz stuff. The thing with like, he is so litigious and so like insane that I feel like, and it, funnily enough, he's like, this will all exonerate.
We're doing one round of sap. Okay, we'll wait for you, Liddy.
I just hope that he like, unfortunately, I think it's gonna be like a Kissinger thing where he lives to be 400 years fucking old. But I just want to see him suffer.
Yeah, and not in like I got disinvited from the fucking Martha's Vineyard, Larry David
Vineyard
gathering, but like actually a little bit, like face some.
Where is Martha's Vineyard, by the way? It's like near Massachusetts or something.
I have no fucking. I don't know.
These guys love going to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, they love. I mean, it's the same with like Long Island. It's the same as going to the tip of Long Island to which is like slightly different. I guess it's like still the same shitty weather, but but like less. I mean, more trees and less buildings.
Have you ever been to Catalina? Have you been to Catalina Island ever?
I have one time, and there was no electricity at the time on the island.
So sick.
Yeah,
we have one. Sense. There's one in the Bay.
Why do Adobe products take so long to update, bro? Why does Adobe take so long to do anything?
I watched it. It was one of the craziest looking things I've ever seen in my life. No more islands. I think that America just needs to get out of the island business. Now you can't like, you're not supposed to go to Hawaii anymore. And so it's like, all right, well then we should just get out of the whole island thing to begin with. You know what I mean?
Zuckerberg is building a compound in Hawaii, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. The compound thing is weird to me because I'm like, if I worked at that compound, I'd be like, oh, we're gonna kill the guy that owns the compound day one, bro.
Yeah.
Like
immediately.
You don't have power over the people that have the compound. If you need the compound, they have power over you because they have the gun. Because like, what are you gonna pay them with? What, dude?
Bro, Northern Line is Omega cancelled for going to Hawaii this year.
I genuinely don't get it. It's like
Omega cancelled, dude.
Every fucking movie, every dystopian movie that has like broached the subject, basically it devolves into the same thing where like the people rise up and kill you. Why wouldn't
exactly?
Good.
I know, it's like I feel like these guys watch so many movies, but they don't take away the most important part.
You wanted me to watch the fucking McDonald's thing, right? Of like the McDonald's fucking like stream that he did, right? Like the edit. Bro, the whole edit was just a fucking ad, dude. I thought that like he was gonna be talking about the beef that was going off on his fucking subreddit. No. Bro, did you see Library of Latorno's like pinned comments in the comment section being like Northern Line only found out about like the fact that with McDonald's and like Israel like after he'd already signed it up, and he did say that that's his bad, which is just interesting that he even like anyway.
You're a 19-year-old twink in San Francisco.
He made the banner black instead of that yellow orange because it was so fucking putrid, really.
But if you, that might go south.
That's
later
funny
down
as
the line,
fuck,
and then
dude.
you,
Okay,
die
we're gonna.
under
Rick
mysterious
Ticket, you're coming. Okay,
circumstances,
cool.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be like, oh, he was sad.
I completely forgot about the Peter Thiel boyfriend jumping out of the
Okay, we're gonna start
building.
now.
What the fuck is that? Peter is poly. That's crazy. Like that should be the biggest news ever. Peter Thiel is polyamorous. Peter Thiel is Bushwick to me.
Yeah, well, the last outlet that outed him is no longer in existence, so I feel like he goes above and beyond when it comes to being litigious.
You think I look young enough
to
smug
have sex with him? Smartphones.
Maybe.
Smug whales, dude.
You think if I shaved more and put some fucking
no, of course he wouldn't double down. Northern Lions are pretty.
I like that you.
He's got his head screwed on, like he doesn't.
Oh,
Zipped up your fucking quarter zip or whatever to be like, well, look, see, without my chest hair.
It's not.
He's not about to like.
Are you doing
pop off on some insane reactionary shit, dude?
Are you talking about a hoodie? There's no hood.
Or not hoodie, but like whatever. You're doing jacket with no zip up with no undershirt.
Yeah,
that's brave.
Zip up with no undershirt.
That's brave.
You should
get fucked.
Dude, my underwear right now has so many holes in it. I am dressed like a psychopath. But I
mean, that's par for the course. I'm on the same boat. Like, you don't need to change your underwear.
That's true.
After wearing the same underwear for like 10 years, obviously cleaning it, but.
Well, I'm doing laundry right now, and I'm on my last pair of underwear, and they are the pair that is just, it looks like
right wing L could be funny as fuck for one stream.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal. The more holes you have in your underwear, the more comfortable it has become.
That's
my.
What the fuck is on?
True, dude.
Yeah,
because exactly. I do be standing in the hallway sometimes in my building and just like letting the breeze rock my shit.
Yeah, there's more points of entry for the breeze. Absolutely. I think it's.
I'm on the subway doing that too.
Yeah, that's Floyd Mayweather's weirdest attitude. Is just that apparently he never wears the same underwear twice. Like he buys new underwear all the time. And I don't get it. I feel like the more you wear your underwear, the better it becomes. Like through wear and tear.
I have do you have a Lucky Pair underwear?
I don't have a Lucky Pair of underwear, but I do have a MeUndies underwear that I wear all the time. That has like.
Is it sponsored?
It's like a special. No. There was like a MeUndies like designer who's a fan of mine, even all the way back in the Young Turks days, and he sent me like a bunch of their underwear that he had designed. And it's the one I wear whenever I wear it. It's got like menorahs on it and like the Star of David. It's like, I always think like, if someone saw me wearing this, they'd probably think it's so weird that I just have this underwear.
So you think that the the menorah underwear can make up for all of the nasty things you've said about the only democracy in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. I wear it all
He
the
says
time.
this
and I'm
while
like, this
he'll
is
like
making up for
openly
my,
wear a Bush Reagan
anti-Semitism.
Dude, you
Like,
gotta get me on Piers, dude. I
fucking
would
hat, like
fucking suck
Obama
his shit in a
Cuomo.
heartbeat.
Piers Morgan, my best friend,
Yeah.
my bestie. You should go on.
He is.
this.
I gotta say,
You should go on there with Rabbi Shmuley.
Shmuley is so sick. Have you read anything that Rabbi Shmuley has written that's not about Israel? Have
No,
you read
I've
his stuff
only-
about sex?
No. Oh yeah, I know that. Like the only thing I saw is his daughter, the one that like is beefing with
Yeah.
Drake, and the one who like was making TikToks about how sick it is that she can like hear the cries of help from
Yeah.
Gaza.
She lives in Ashkelon. Yeah.
Yeah, that one has like kosher sex gel and shit, and like kosher dildos. I think like that's what she sells.
Kosher dildos?
Like she sells like kosher sex toys. Yeah.
She sells holes in a sheet with a hole in it. That was always like the like that's what people. I think there's a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about it. I guess. The hole in the sheet is how Orthodox people have sex, which apparently is not true, but would be a lot funnier if it was.
I want to see if the fucking what is it? The Hanukkah underwear? Is that what it is? I think it. Yeah, this is the one. I found it. This is the undies that I have that I wear all the time. I can share the screen with you.
Oh my God.
Oh my god! Oh, these ones interesting. I thought they would be more like dark purple with like little gold menorahs.
No, these are the ones I wear quite regularly because it's like this is in my standard rotation, and they got like hella. They got very comfortable over the years. I've been wearing them for like almost 10 years now.
Oh my God, Hassad, 10 years.
Sick. I wear whatever. I'd lose underwear frequently, not from cool reasons. I don't know what happens. But I just end up having to go to Target and buy new ones. But
she has the kosher sex store, Tel Aviv, run by Rabbi's daughter, sells spice for marriage.
my god.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so weird to be in the same like kosher sex business as your dad.
Yeah.
That is very weird.
That's what makes it
I'm just
even
taking
weirder.
off the
Yeah,
stream
like,
just in case.
she took on daddy's business. Chana Boteach.
It's her dad was like close friends with Michael Jackson too. In fact, he is fucking Michael Jackson's like one of his
well then, Seismic,
biggest
you own me.
writers. It is insane. Like his
Well
whole
done.
like shit after Michael died was just like doing interviews, being like, I was friends with Michael. It's horrible what happened, but I was friends with Michael Jackson.
I mean, yeah, he's just getting his clout up, respect. And now
Michael
he's
Michael had a crazy entourage.
Oh, he also defended I forgot about that. He defended, so him and Dershowitz have like a bit of a back and forth where they have like a little bit of drama, but he also defended Dersh for being a Jeffrey Epstein friend. He actually went out the bat for him, and I don't even think it was because of anything. He just likes defending people who are friends with Jeffrey
defending.
Epstein. He just likes having an association with a primary, secondary people that may or may not have done things with children. He's just like.
We'll save these. That would be Pog.
Fancy.
You know what, Hassan? There's two damn things that offend in this world: the state of Israel and Alan damn Dershowitz. I don't know why Shmuley sounds like that in my head, but he does. Fucking goated name though. Like I wish that my family was less assimilated, so they could have named me some shit like that, or Shlomo or some shit. I'd be a great Shlomo. Fuck.
All right. Well, Brace. Thank you so much for coming on. Host of True Anon. Podcast.
I gotta plug something.
Yeah, what do you want to plug? That's what I was gonna ask.
I gotta plug something. All right. I want everybody watching to go to www.trueanon.com/STC because at the beginning of next year, we are putting out a product that will change the world. About it.
I know what the product is. It's fucking awesome.
It's gonna change. It's a product that will heal America.
You said trueanon.stc? What?
Trueanon.com/STC.
Wait,
let me make sure that's right. Yeah,
you're fucking horrible. No, it is. Yeah, trueanon.com/ STC.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
15 days, 9 hours, 53 minutes, and 52 seconds. Something's going to come out. The storm is coming.
Yeah,
the storm is
okay.
coming.
I don't buy much.
It is gonna be really. It's gonna be something else.
All right, I'm stoked for it.
Thank you so much for having me, Hassan.
All right,
I'll be in LA sometime in January. Let me see your house.
All right, yeah, no, of course.
So
You just gotta bring chicks.
I will bring, dude. I'm gonna bring so many girls to your house.
Hell yeah.
No, just playing. I only ride with several 50-year-old men, but
That's fine too.
that's good. All right, I will see you. Thank you.
Bye, Braze. All right, folks. That was, like I said, friend of the show, Braze Belden, also known as Racial Jake, also CEO Racial Jake, also known as Pisby Grandad, also known as the Gourmand. But yeah, here it is. The storm is coming. This is what he wanted to play. Also known as Coindexter. The man who is most responsible for defeating ISIS. Seriously? Yeah. If you told me that man worked with anarchist Kurds to fight ISIS, I would completely believe you. That's crazy. Chat, this is who Hassan is listening to when he isn't listening to music. It's true. That is actually very true. I do listen to True and On quite a bit. One of my favorite podcasts out there alongside Chapo Trap House. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little update on what's going on in the world of Jeffrey Epstein by talking to one of the authorities on the subject matter.
Yeah, he is. They know all the law.
Today's guest is so much better than yesterday's. Yeah, I like thinking that Brace, I actually brought him up. I actually brought Brace on the show. Like he's a gray name that I pulled out of the chat. Like he just randomly, I brought him.
Oh my god, hold on. Follow.
All right. Don't forget he broke the news about Ebola and Burning Man. True, he did do that. Really good interview with Brace from back in the day that was all about him, if y'all want to know. Why this American volunteered to fight ISIS in Syria. What the fuck? I've never seen this before. What the fuck?
The whole myth about like socialism just being for like lazy people who don't want to work is just some bullshit. I mean, I work 3 jobs. You know, I spend most of my time at work. And I'm a socialist because I realize I don't want to work less, but I want my work to have meaning. I don't want to be alienated from my labor. And I certainly don't want somebody taking every extra cent that I make the company and putting it in their own pocket.
Oh my God. This premiered May 1st, 2019. I've never seen this before. Brace Belden is a socialist. He embraced leftist policies as a teen during his punk rock days. Later, he volunteered for 6 months in Syria with the Kurdish Freedom Movement, where he helped fight ISIS. Now his activism back home has led to the unionization of one of the most popular beer brands in the U.S., the running theme throughout his life, solidarity for the working class.
So I was born in San Francisco, lived here for the first little part of my life. I got into politics through punk. So, you know, I wasn't really like, I'm a communist or whatever.
Yeah, Brace also famously was blamed by the New York Post for the fall of Anchor Beer, for unionizing Anchor Beer.
I was just like, you know, left-wing politics are like a way, it's just what you do when you're punk. And I was a lot more concerned at that point, like 14, you know, to my teenage years with getting drunk, which led me to do very poorly in school, and I think sort of set me on my trajectory. But once I discovered heroin, that was it. There was no
Okay, never mind. I thought it was serious.
Dark, by far.
I moved to
That's
Anchor.
not a joke, by the way. I mean, I know it sounds like it, but he's not joking.
Wait, what?
Once I got sober and I was able to do something besides just sit in AA meetings all day, I realized that like I need, you know, something to do. I
That's
had
not a
involvement
joke.
with socialist groups here, but it didn't seem like it was
what?
going anywhere.
Kobani has been under the onslaught of the Islamic State group since mid-September. There wasn't a single moment when I decided, like, I'm gonna go to Syria. My brain is extremely small and incredibly broken, so I just got obsessed with it. I originally wanted to go as a civilian. I realized that was harder than I thought. And the only way I could get there was by joining the YPG. The YPG is People's Protection Units, and it is the armed wing of a political party called the PYD, a left-wing, they call themselves communalist, political party in the north of Syria. They're trying to start a socialist society based around democratic and federalist lines. And they were fighting ISIS too, which are generally not known to be great guys.
The technicals do go hard though, like.
People use this sort of privileged discourse, or like stay in your lane discourse, about people going out there. But the fact of the matter is that the YPG have a dedicated office to having Westerners come out there, or not Westerners, anybody come out there. Within the ranks of the Kurdish freedom movement, people from Europe and people from America have fought since almost the beginning. And I believe that the Kurdish freedom movement is waging the same war as the workers in India,
did it.
the
Oh
workers
my God.
in Taiwan and stuff like that. You know, like the
I can't tell if this is real or not.
Is global. So the workers of all those countries, and every country up and down, every continent, have the same exact interests to emancipate themselves from wage slavery. First few months back were difficult, really difficult. When I got back, I was sort of like, all right, I'm gonna take a little break from doing political stuff or anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna sit at home and be depressed for a little while.
I can't tell if this is real or not. No, this is 100% real. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
I don't even know if Brace would appreciate me watching this right now, but no, it is absolute. Yes, this is real. Every time when I talk about, okay, why did he even go to Syria? Dude, what do you mean? He just said why he went to Syria. There was an international call to arms, like a Popular Front style international call to arms by the YPG that he followed through on, and he went to Syria to fight alongside the Kurdish militias against ISIS.
I was aware
Bro, that's
that
insane.
people said San Francisco was progressive, but I never saw it. Like, socially, it's very progressive, you know, like very, you know, welcoming to different minority groups if they have money. If they don't have money, though, they're screwed. I started working at Anchor Brewing Company in, I think, January of 2018. After I got a job there, some guys sort of took me aside.
I'll post
like,
that to
listen,
Son.
we've been talking about this, maybe starting a union here. And that's when things got a little more interesting at work. Anchor Brewing was the first craft beer company in America. It's an industry where sales have skyrocketed and wages have dropped during that same period. We don't think that's fair because there wouldn't be no craft beer without craft beer brewers and bottlers and canners. Especially in a place like where we work, where we actually produce a product, like I can see our power all around us.
Bro, I
Because
can't believe I
without
took
us,
such
like,
an
if we
L.
put our hands in our pockets and walked away, there would be no business. Well, I had some organizing experience before, but not anything like this. You just go and you talk to people and you invite people to meetings and you form an organizing committee. And eventually you want to talk to everybody. You don't want to tell them that they want a union. You want to help them understand.
Okay, fine. One more round of sap after this. Fine. Sorry, I can't help it that I got knocked out so fucking early. I'm unbelievably competitive about this sort of stuff sometimes.
Yeah, nicknames: Bad Boy Brace Belden, Piss Pig Granddad, Piss Pig Grandma, President Chaos, Mr. Boyles, Racial Jake, Mr. Fireworks, The Dark Cowboy, The Special Ed Dance, Bubonic Brace. Surprisingly, noticeably absent is Gourmand, and noticeably absent is Coindexter. Also, The Gay Pussy Eater. Dude, I knew about the YPG dude and Truanon, but I'm mind blown that it's the same dude. You just thought it was a different guy, huh? Yeah.
Interest to advance the interests of workers. After the vote, a bunch of us went out to a sort of dive bar nearby. Everybody, you know, had anchor and stuff, sort of like in celebration. And I had a Coca-Cola.
Holy moly, dude. What would be?
You know,
that will be
living
my
as,
name
like,
next month.
A
Sure,
working person in
dude.
San Francisco. You don't feel like a human being. You're worth $16 an hour, and that's nothing here. You know, everyone else in the city is worth
one last game.
$15 an hour or whatever. You know, by writing computer programs. You're at the bottom, and you don't even know you're at the bottom. You know,
It's LB1 now. It changed.
Like, you know, all you have to do is work a little harder, and then you're there.
Yeah, that was it.
You the boss. It comes back to solidarity.
Any LB ring today? Probably not, to be honest with you. I've got a lot of editing to do. I'm starting to feel a lower level of stress about it,
solidarity is the reason that, like, I started like getting more involved in this thing at work.
I know myself well enough to the point where I know that if I get to a level of like stress, where like where I like where things I've got a deadline fast approaching, my reaction to stress is just to say fuck it and then like do something else and like not actually do what I'm trying to do. My reaction to stress is just to be like, okay, well, I'm stressed now. I can't do anything. Like, fuck this. I hate this. So like I just be less productive. That's how I react to stress, especially when it's like, yeah. So I need to make sure that I'm being consistent with it. Otherwise, I'm going to like start to like just be like, well, fuck it. Okay, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that was Brace who we just had on the broadcast. Yeah, he's
all right. Bye, Anomalous.
He's the man.
True, I've lethal accompanied with you. So true, dude.
Liz Franzik, True Anon, and Young Chomsky. Excellent. Love their pod. Using the handle PissPigGranddad generated a significant following on Twitter. By the time he returned from Syria,
are we waiting
he
for
had amassed
anyone?
30,000 followers. The account was permanently suspended shortly after Belden's return to the United States for accusations of violating Twitter's policies on targeted abuse or harassment. Although Twitter has not commented on the suspension, the account was locked shortly after Belden mocked white nationalist Nathan D'Amigo's short stature on the site. According to Belden, alt-right affiliated accounts, or in Belden's words, a bunch of Nazi/4chan dudes who were mad at me for making fun of that guy for being short had tweeted about plans to report PissPigGranddad en masse. You know what's really funny? He 100%
waiting on anyone else?
Now.
Anyone else?
He most likely could get unbanned as long as he wrote the magic words in the unban request, which is I got banned for I got banned because I was silenced by woke people or whatever the fuck. Anyway, Belden reemerged on Twitter under the new handle PissPigGrandma, which was also suspended. So yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start.
Take a guess on which one Brace was making fun of. I wonder which one of these fucking losers is the one he was making fun of for his short stature.
The lazy bananas.
It's true that works. I got 2 accounts unbanned recently. Yeah, he should make a return, in my opinion. So, anyway, Hassan promoting short phobia once again. Funny that you say that because Brace himself is a short king. So, no. This goes back to the same equation. Short kings versus manlet phenomena. Not true, he's like 6'4". True. Anyway. See yourself out of this discussion, tall boy. Okay. I'm being attacked. I'm being attacked for things I can't change about myself, which is how tall I am. All right. Moving on, we did the Prague shooting earlier. We talked about Jeffrey Jebediah Epstein's misgivings, and now it's time to talk about Gaza. The Gaza death toll has surpassed 20,000. We're going to do a short update on that. And
I
then
don't
we're
think
also
I
going
can.
to talk
I know
about
that.
the CNN anchor that actually went into the West Bank. So that's actually very good that CNN is finally fucking catching on.
War between Israel and Hamas. The White House says negotiations are underway for another temporary ceasefire and the release of more hostages. As Gaza's health ministry, which is run by Hamas, is reporting that the death toll has surpassed 20,000. Our foreign correspondent,
Insane,
Britt
dude.
Clinton, is in Israel for us. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, new airstrike.
This is from Elant News. This is, sends us a Ynet International Affairs journalist. Nadav Eyal says, what I'm hearing from senior Israeli officials about the war. 1. This phase of war, phase 2, which includes taking operational control of Gazan towns and neighborhoods, yet not achieving full control enemy clearance, will end soon. They are hopeful about specific achievements in Khan Yunis, where Hamas leaders are suspected to be hiding. However, there are no guarantees. They plan to target areas down south. Israel is seeing increased Hamas attacks in areas it has already taken. Phase 3 is expected to begin mid to late January. The IDF will relocate in the north and center of Gaza, withdrawing from some areas. As I reported last week, Israel will not allow the en masse return of the Palestinian population. The argument is that there are areas that are still battlegrounds, and therefore the return of civilians is unsafe.
Oh God. Okay, dude. Yeah.
The outlook is long-term, at least a year. Holy fuck. Many draw parallels to the IDF operations against Palestinian terror groups in the West Bank during the Second Intifada, which took about 2 years. Number 3, during phase 3, the IDF will continue aerial assaults and ground raids aimed at killing Hamas leaders and crippling its infrastructure and command. Israel is also preparing a plan to undermine Hamas's control of funding and taxation across Gaza. Number 4, Israel will be open to limited pauses in fighting, even extended ones, to facilitate more hostage deals.
It is a good weekly.
It is willing to release substantial numbers of Palestinian prisoners to ensure safe passage of Sinwar and Hamas leadership to leave Gaza if they free the hostages and cease fighting. What? They're going to let Yahya Sinwar and Hamas leadership get away and escape Gaza? That sounds so stupid. Unless your goal isn't to eradicate Hamas at all,
Oh,
and it's simply to have Hamas always dangle as a threat so that you can constantly and consistently act like, anne yemeğim geldi mi? Ay yok, senin yemeğin geldi. Benim yemeğim de birazdan gelecek. Sana aldım. İçli köfte.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully.
Yeah, just consistently dangle Hamas as the real threat that Israel has to deal with militarily, which allows them to, do whatever the fuck they want to the Palestinian population. I think the idea is for the Mossad to kill them later, potentially. But Mossad could kill Hamas leadership internationally right now. It's not like Israel has been restrained in its assassination plans.
Yeah, certainly not.
Right? Israel has been very open about its willingness and ability to assassinate foreign nationals on foreign soil. They could technically go and kill all the Hamas people in Qatar right now. They know where it is.
So true. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Is in Cairo now. Not even in Qatar. Right? So why haven't they done that? It almost always feels like having Hamas is much better for Israel than not actually having Hamas to point to. So they can justify the ethnic cleansing. They need a guy. Yeah, Israel is very open about, murdering motherfuckers that they think are dangerous. Like, you could be an Iranian nuclear scientist and they'll fucking cook you. You know?
Oh, we got one of these.
So, anyway, the general mindset within the defense apparatus is to prevent further worsening of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Oh, thank God, man. Oh, no. Who made it happen? It's like a natural phenomena, right? It may be Operation Wrath of Grapes Munich-style response, which may last years. Fearing it will limit Israel's legitimacy in targeting Hamas, this mindset is constantly and internally challenged by those who argue that Hamas will never be crushed as long as it's not held responsible by Gazan civilians for their disaster. The main issue for Netanyahu and the right wing is whether ending phase 2 and the intensive ground assault will be perceived as being weak on Hamas. Additionally, Netanyahu has yet to provide a clear vision for Gaza and how the war will be won. He is now committed to campaign efforts in an attempt to rescue some of his tarnished image. This is creating increased rifts in the emergency coalition. All eyes are on the north. Tens of thousands of Israelis are internally displaced due to the war Hezbollah initiated immediately after Hamas attack. The general assessment in Israel is that diplomatic attempts vis-a-vis Hezbollah will fail, and the chances of war are increasing. It's crazy. Gazan civilians aren't going to blame Hamas for their family members dying. They're blaming Israel. Yeah, of course they're blaming Israel. Like, the notion that like a foreign invader, in this circumstance, the belligerent occupier, that's not so foreign, I guess, at this stage, but like the belligerent occupier is going to be welcomed as a liberator is a fucking idiotic one that has never been the case. Whether it be Afghanistan, whether it be Iraq, no matter where you are in the fucking world, sure, you can find some people who will align with the belligerent occupier, opportunists, careerists, those who want to establish a puppet state at the behest of the American government in Iraq, for example, or even some Kurdish people in Iraq that were getting wiped out by the Saddam administration, right? But ultimately, the overwhelming majority of people are obviously not going to be too fond of random fucking belligerents, the random belligerent occupiers that came in and are destroying their fucking lives and livelihoods and killing their family members. So yeah, I can't even think of a single fucking instance. Maybe I'm wrong, and I welcome someone correcting me on this. I might be totally off base on this, but I do not know of a single fucking instance where the bombing campaigns have contributed to the population at the time feeling fondly towards the bombers, okay? And has like successfully turned around and has caused a liberation. A revolution.
Multiple monkey? Oh, well, too bad. But thank you for the tips, Darovic.
Seem not to say a huge amount of death. People say Japan and came only after the restoration. The allegiances did not lead to a revolution in Japan at all, as a matter of fact. The bombing did not. The firebombing and the nukes did not lead to Japan going, "We love you, America." Okay? It actually only contributed to the hatred and hardening of positions. It's what came after that actually developed a relationship with the United States of America. Vietnam is another great example of this too. Maybe Allied bombings in Vichy, France, but that was occupied territory, so I suppose it doesn't really qualify. Yeah. And especially in like contemporary, in modern history, in the last, I guess, 30, 40 years, I cannot think of a single instance where the United States of America
we just have to pray,
any like Western country, or fuck it, any country really, has like bombed has become a belligerent occupier and led to people that are there feeling like they're truly liberated. I would say Russia is a great example of this as well. Like Russia in Eastern Ukrainian positions is a perfect representation of this holding true, not necessarily just for countries like America, but quite literally for countries in the East as well. Right?
Mm.
So that's what I think. I think it just doesn't work, and I think it's simply
Nobody's right about this one, yeah.
I think it is simply just pure, unadulterated, unfettered copium that the occupiers' media repeats for its own consent manufacturing purposes.
Strikes in Gaza sending the death toll higher. The WHO now saying that a child is killed every 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
This morning.
Were the Polish favorable towards the Nazi invasion? No. The Polish weren't even fucking favorable towards the USSR either. That's my point.
We're doing more rounds after this?
Civilians
No.
and journalists caught in an Israeli airstrike. And as the war nears its 12th week, a grim milestone in Gaza, 20,000 killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry.
We are just collateral damage.
Arwa Naif is a mother of two, forced to evacuate 5 times already since the start of the war.
There is no one single place where you can say, here it's a secure place where I can sleep the night. It is worse every day. It's getting worse every day.
But the war unlikely to end soon. In Beirut,
احتلال الهدنة المؤقتة.
a senior Hamas leader saying there's no hostage deal without a ceasefire. One of those released hostages returning to his home on Kibbutz Be'eri Wednesday, recalling his nightmare.
The last thing I remember is being carried away, and Yuval, my girlfriend, say I love you.
House by house charred out, painful reminders of the horrors committed that day as pressure intensifies on the government to bring the rest of the hostages home.
Oh God, they just...
The White House says serious negotiations are underway, but Hamas telling us that the latest round of talks in Egypt ended without results. Michael.
All right, Britt, thank you, and please be safe.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more...
Let's go, dude.
All right.
We stop at a service station in the occupied...
This is, this is in line with the Clarissa Ward coverage. Right? Clarissa Ward was able to sneak into the Gaza Strip. And now CNN is not sneaking into, but actually offering coverage from the West Bank. Now, I have, for a long time now, I've talked
Too late for
about
Octopus.
the Gaza Strip
move to
and
the front
how
after this.
that death and devastation does not translate to empathy for Americans in the same way that the West Bank will, because we have no way to contextualize that level of ethnic cleansing and that level of violence. But because the operations in the West Bank are the regular maintenance of an apartheid regime, I think that it has the capacity for the Western world, like for people in the Western world, when they find out about what's going on in the West Bank, I think that they have an easier time identifying with it. Because the only time we see entire city blocks reduced to rubble is when it's happening far away in some fucking brown nation, and it's either happening as a consequence of like other brown people doing it to the brown people, or it's a consequence of us doing it to the brown people. So we have no way of like looking at that and being able to like develop sympathy for those victims, because we have been we're so used to seeing that in a manner that is depersonalized, in a manner that is like, in a manner that is impossible to contextualize, impossible to understand. Did you forget Ukraine getting bombed? No, Ukraine is another example of this as well. Ukraine is the only time when you did see white people being victim to such a thing. And even then, it's like entire city blocks wiped out happens there. It doesn't happen to us. That's my point. So like, we don't really see it. We don't have a way of consistently feeling like this is an ongoing atrocity that we have to do something about, in the way that we can see the personalized violence of the daily maintenance of the apartheid regime, right? And during the Ukraine bombings, everyone, yes, like Ozora is saying here, during the Ukraine bombings, everyone reiterated the uncivilized Eastern Europe sentiments, but even so, they also mentioned how unique this was, because it was white people who were victim to this kind of thing. So they kept saying, oh my God, this doesn't happen. This is not supposed to happen in Europe. This is not supposed to happen here. This is Europe. But the point is, It's just like Americans and people in the Western world can't comprehend entire city blocks being wiped out, but they can understand an apartheid regime. Okay?
Palestinian West Bank. A man in military fatigues demands to check our IDs.
I have the right to secure this area.
What you're saying is kind of accurate to a testimony of an IDF vet. I remember he said he was more traumatized by a specific house raid in West Bank than actually being in Gaza in 2014. Well, for the IDF, I've seen conflicting reports on that. I've actually seen a lot of breaking the silence vets report that like going into Gaza actually made them realize like, oh fuck, what we're doing here is unacceptable. Obviously, like air missions is a little different. But when you actually do boots on the ground warfare, when you actually put the military inside of Gaza, that genuinely changes people's minds. But you are correct. A lot of veterans report like their operations in the West Bank breaking their brains and causing them to really reconsider the apartheid, because at that point you're literally doing this towards like a population that is just straight up a civilian population. Not to say that Gaza isn't a civilian population, but everyone is primed to say Gaza is Hamas, Gaza are terrorists, the children are terror babies, right? Like there is this constant recycling of the racial agitated propaganda that plays a significant role in people dehumanizing their victims.
Dude, it's insane.
Both the IDF itself, but also just like people watching from afar. But yeah, this corresponds to testimonies that I read that the conflicts in Gaza are far more traumatic for soldiers on the ground due to the sheer violence.
Oh, you were working on it.
But I think it's like the daily maintenance of the apartheid against like a civilian population that's just trying to live, not even resisting against you.
That actually looks
in
amazing.
The same way that like at least Gaza has some.
There's a few things I'd change, but that
like
looks incredible. I'll tell you about them, and I'll chat to you more if you need to change.
And is successfully at times defending from.
The only thing I'd change is just the. It's actually perfect. The only thing I'd change is just the. I'll show you what I changed, but thank you. That's amazing.
But he's got a gun.
Holy fuck!
So
okay, hold on.
Obliged.
Becca says hi.
Like, this is so American. Which is ironic because there's a fuck ton of American scumbags that are settling in the West Bank anyway. But why is this so American? It's because this guy might not fucking be an actual military member. He might just simply be a militia that is now ordained by Itamar Ben-Gvir and the like to conduct what he believes is a military operation, in many instances without any sort of real training whatsoever.
Okay.
Right?
Hold on.
It's just a dude with a gun wearing military fatigues at a fucking gas station. And if you and Americans can understand that is what I'm trying to say. Americans that cannot comprehend, Americans that cannot associate in their minds with like being victim to a brutal assault by a belligerent occupier can totally understand and totally fucking totally feel the fear of a dude dressed up in military fatigues with a fucking assault rifle on his chest. That's something that you can totally get, right? We got our own fucking Gravy Seals brigades out here doing similar shit.
Request. The only ones. CNN obtained this video from inside Hebron, a divided city, filmed a few days after the Hamas October 7 attack.
He goes, "You're not a soldier."
The Palestinian man.
Okay, I just need to contact you. I'll speak to you more later.
He recognizes the man with the gun as a settler, not a soldier.
But it looks really cool, and I'll show you what I mean on stream with what I would like to change slightly.
But is everyone with a gun and fatigues a soldier? The West Bank is under Israeli military occupation. It's also believed to be home to almost 3/4 of a million settlers. It looks
really, really good.
Very important for CNN audiences to see this reality, for the record. Yeah, these guys are basically the Klan.
Thank you. That's
not even basically. They are the Klan.
I can't believe you did that in Canva.
It seems weird because when you think about it, like, when you see the Star of David painted outside of a home in the United States of America, that often spells trouble. That probably means like, you know, you're going to do a hate crime, an anti-Semitic hate crime. When you see a Star of David painted outside of a house, graffitied outside of a house in the West Bank, it's actually the settlers that are actually targeting that house, that they are going to do a hate crime to the Palestinians living there. It has the exact opposite indication. They
okay, after this, we're going back to editing,
blow
okay?
up the fucking house so they can throw Molotov cocktails and like light the house on fire and try to get the people out of that house so they can inevitably settle in it. So that's what's really that dynamic, I think, is important for people to recognize, because like if you grow up in America, you're thinking like,
holy moly, seismic.
You understandably recognize and you're trained to see anti-Semitism,
Okay.
especially if you're in progressive circles.
All right.